Bam ba bam 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 ba bam 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 ba 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 bam bam ba bam bam. The sensitivity that you choose to play in any FPS will ultimately dictate your performance. This is why it's so important to choose a sensitivity that is suitable for your needs. Soon I will be giving you guys my personal favorite sensitivity that I have ever used in my 5 years of playing with Apex. But before I do that, I wanted to let you guys know that you shouldn't just copy and paste a content creator's settings in hopes that it's going to perfectly work for you, because we all have different needs, which therefore means we all require a different sensitivity that is suitable for those needs. But as somebody who has been playing this game, as I mentioned, for 5 years, and as somebody who has also played on many different types of sensitivities, I used to play 7.6 Classic for years, I switched to linear, I tried out ALCs, I've tried almost everything, and in my honest opinion, the settings that I'm about to give you are by far the best sends that I've ever used in my entire life. It's a perfect balance between a faster paced long range tracking without it being too fast, and a very easy to control close range tracking. So much so that it feels like I almost never miss when I'm close range. I feel as though the sends that I'm about to give you guys is suitable for a lot of different types of needs out there. So I can say with good faith that this sends might be a good option for you. At least try it out and let me know. Without further ado, let's get it. I don't think I'm going to go over my gameplay settings. I've done that so many times. They really never change. If you want to take a quick look at them, then here you go. Take a look for all you nosy pants out there. Now onto my controller settings. I've been asked for my controller settings for like the last 3 months constantly all throughout my streams. And I've been hiding them in secret for the new season so that I can make a YouTube video about them. And so for all of you guys that have been wondering, then here you go. So for my base controller settings, I'm using a 4.3 linear with no dead zone, and this will be on a linear response curve. This by itself, for me, is extremely slow. It's a little bit faster than 4.3 Classic, let's say, but as somebody who has always played on high sensitivity in every FPS that I've played, 4.3 linear, no dead zone just didn't cut it for me. I had to figure out a way to increase my sensitivity without actually increasing it, if that makes sense. There's only one way to do that, and that's to utilize your per-optic ALC settings. The first thing that you'll want to do is go over to your ALC settings. If you haven't used them before, then more than likely you'll have them as the default setting. What I want you to do is turn everything down to 0. There are theories that the settings that you have in ALCs, even if you don't have this turned on, still affect your base settings. We know for 100% certainty that this is true for your ALC per-optic settings, but it's not been confirmed for anything else. It's just a theory. Regardless, just to mitigate any potential adverse effects of ALCs, turn everything to 0. Then you go over to your ALC per-optic settings. It's been confirmed for a long time that your per-optic ALC settings actually do have a bleed-through effect. What I mean by that is, you can mess around with your per-optic ALC settings, and then subsequently turn off your ALCs as a whole, and it will still impact your sensitivity based on whatever site that you're using. If you don't believe me, then once again, I'll prove to you guys that this is true. Watch as I increase my 1x per-optic ALC settings to max power. Then, I'm going to be sure to disable ALC as a whole. This should mean, for those that don't believe, that it will no longer have an effect on my overall sensitivity because I just turned off ALCs. But notice how that's actually the opposite of what happens here. You can see the clear difference in my 1x settings with the per-optic ALCs on, with bleed-through effect, on max power compared to when I turn it down a bit. And so with this information, then you should be able to tell by now that it'll give you a lot more refinement over your aim without having to turn up your base sends at all. In this way, I can keep my base sends at 4.3, but still increase the sensitivity of each individual site that I use to make it either faster or slower, whichever I desire. So for my per-optic ALC settings, I use 1.3 for my 1x optic sites, 1.5 for my 2x, 1.8 for my 3x, 1.6 for my 4x, 2.0 for my 6x, 2.2 for my 8x, 2.0 for my 10x, and I don't change this here passive because I don't play that trash ass legend. And so as you can see, with the increase in magnification for my sites, I start to increase my ALC per-optics as well. If you leave everything at 1.0, then it doesn't have an effect because you're using essentially at that point 4.3 linear by itself. But anything higher than that kind of changes what your overall settings is for that individual site. For instance, when I use 1.3 for my 1x optic site, I'm still using 4.3 linear as my base, but it has a 1.3 multiplier to it. So it's slightly faster, therefore giving me much better control over my tracking, while still being extremely controllable. Same thing for my 2x, 3x, etc. This is the secret to your sensitivity. If you didn't know about this, then you guys can tweak those values as you like, but the values that I have right now are extremely good. In fact, I use this settings on both PC and console, despite the difference in performance. My shot has never been better. especially close range. There have been settings that I've used that give me really good aim close range, but terrible aim far range, and vice versa. But for the first time, I feel like I found the perfect sensitivity for controller players. I've been going crazy this season as I've been duo queuing to Predator with my good friend Decoy. So hopefully I can help pass it on to you guys. You guys test out these settings and let me know how it works for you. But I must warn you, you're gonna start shooting nukes. You might get accused of cheating. If anybody asks, just let them know it's Scrappy certified. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Bam, ba, bam, bam, bam. Bam, ba, bam, 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 ba, 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 bam, bam, ba, bam, bam, bam. Bam, ba, bam, 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 ba, ba, bam, bam, ba, bam, bam, bam. Bam, ba, bam, 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 ba, 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 bam.